This is the JoeZone.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the JoeZone podcast. Today I have an all-star team with me today, huh? I got like the Chicago Bulls in the 90s or something like it. We got Jordan, we got Pippen, and we got Rodman over here. Like, what's up, guys? I'll start off with Jordan over here.
Okay, you know Jordan.
Yeah. You talk about Scott.
MVP of Canada.
What's up, guys? I don't even know if we're supposed to clap as well.
We got the applause. We got the applause here. So, Gina, how's it going, my bro?
Now everything is all good. Yesterday I celebrated my 2-month wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
I know. And you know, no one actually says to you that when you get married, you automatically put on weight. I think I must have,
Why must you laugh?
Yeah.
I think I must have gained about 10 kilos. I'm not even joking. But no,
You're honest about it. Liam, you got something to say over there, buddy. What's up? How you doing?
Here's a question though. Did you lose weight before the wedding?
Yes.
That's what happened.
In fact, before the wedding, I was doing boxing thrice a week for like 8 weeks running up to the wedding. I even completed the 13 Peaks Challenge, which is like 110 kilometers in total. We done that over 6 weeks. Got married, and then I don't know what happened to the peaks.
Complacency.
Otherwise,
man.
but to
Happy life,
answer your question, we're all good.
Yeah, man. Married life is a good life, my bro. Now you must know what comes next, Moose. I got that lined up already away.
I got no idea what you're talking about.
The people started that already.
No, of course.
Liam.
I think there's
Next question, please. Next question.
Liam, how you doing, my friend?
He's
What-
another member of the Black Band Brotherhood.
Yeah, there we go. Oh,
This-
black man.
All about the Black
Big
Band.
fan.
Bro. Nah, I'm good.
I haven't seen you in ages, my bro.
Yeah.
Star Wars on the t-shirt.
I don't get out much. The dog bit me now. Do I look so suspect? It's
Yeah.
like, like this dog is like, nah, it's
sorry
brother
about that,
belong
man.
here. Nah, it's alright. And that extractive band is drastisch. That extractive band can extract souls from this lifetime. I thought the house was levitating. That's crazy.
It's hot outside, my bro. It's hot in here.
Yeah, but I don't get out much, bro. I think the last time I saw you was at that gig that he played at.
Yeah. Bevan was the comedian. The stand-up mic. The stand-up open mic. Sorry,
the stand-up mic. I prefer that one.
Open mic.
Stand-up mic.
Open mic.
Bevan.
Jokes. You've been doing comedy recently. How's it been, my bro?
But you know me, I've just been dabbling, messing around with stuff. But the art is still in content creation and you know, that kind of stuff. But,
I see you doing some of that stuff. When I saw you and your girlfriend at that gig, like I told Bevan, Liam, sorry. I told Liam, like, yeah, bro, what's he doing? He's brought his girlfriend here. That's like, I won't do that type of stuff. What if you die on stage? I like brought my wife once to a gig, like, and I
I
died,
said to her,
bro.
I don't want it to
Yo,
come.
it's not
And then
good.
she got upset. And then, not upset, she was a bit, I could see she was a bit disheartened, man. And then I thought, yeah, fucking, let's not just do this. If I freak in front of her, she won't leave
Tell me
me.
something as a comedian, like for both of you. When your partners are there, does it add like a certain pressure?
It's worse, bro. If you die.
For me, look, I'm still a newbie for like 5 years. So it's still got that thing for me.
I think it's more awkward for her.
Okay.
Because he talks about
I have a lot to come out
Yeah.
of it. Like I'll talk about like putting a finger in a hole and stuff like that. So men will look at her differently. Men will look at her differently when they come off stage. Like I'll talk about
Wait.
That escalated for
But he's right, I've been there. Where I look at her, and I don't look at him, I look at her like, yo, damn girl.
Liam, you don't do comedy anymore, like. You left that.
But bro, so when was it? I don't know if you saw Larry.
The Tiger Smoke.
Yeah, so Larry's in town at the moment from the UK. He's our brother that we went to varsity with. He's in town from the UK now, and he played at Tiger's Milk last week Wednesday.
Laughter on Lockdown.
Yeah, Laughter Lockdown, and then afterwards, so he shot through to Armchair. So I was like, yo, I haven't been to Armchair since like 2019. Let me go. I'm gonna go show face, see what's happening. But bro, I walked into Armchair. Have you been there recently?
Yeah, I've been there. I think I was there last year. Performed there last year. Yeah.
I haven't been there since they shut the place down. Remember they shut it down?
Yeah,
for
I've been there after that.
I haven't been there since before before they shut it down. And I walked in there. That place is completely gentrified. I don't recognize that place at all. But it was
gentrified.
I like the gentrified way.
Yeah, because that joint was packed, bruh.
And
It was packed, shoulder to shoulder. Mensen in there. That house was full. So I walked in. Nati's running the gig.
Yeah, it's nice.
There's a couple of guys there. They seem, oh, you on tonight? I'm like, yo, if this place, let me go.
Hectic.
So they gave me 10 minutes. I jumped on. It was like, yo, it was dope. Like I don't feel like it was fun to get up on stage to know that I can still do it with that Mensa, and I can like, I can
Did
still
you
throw
enjoy
down.
yourself?
I enjoyed myself, though, but I can't say that I miss it.
So you just had fun.
I just had fun. It was like, yo, okay, now I can still do this. And then I was like, oh, oi.
Without, did you write the new set, or was that just like you tried whatever old jokes or what?
Couple of old stuff, some new stuff in there that just happened to happen while the previous comic was on stage. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's bring that in. Let's talk about that. So it was
I never performed in a while, and I performed last week, the Monday at Gino Fernandez's gig there in the Rascals. I died 1,000 deaths because I never performed in a long time, man. Yeah, it was like, I felt like so like awkward afterwards. Like, you don't write, you don't practice, you don't get out there, you die. You die.
Was it album of Tupac, no? Which one is it? Me Against the World, where they say on there, a coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once. It's like, you're not a soldier, bro. You need to go. You must just go. Enjoy you must just be comfortable in the silence, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you're enjoying yourself, the other men will enjoy themselves because they can see you enjoying yourself.
I find that actually in podcasting, actually, since it must move that direction, that vibe, like us going back and forth, like that vibe I find in podcasting. I don't know, a lot of people sort of move into that way. You find there's we're talking about the other podcaster I won't mention earlier, but I think like sometimes people got dirty tricks, man, to get out there and stuff like that, and I don't really like that, but I like podcasting.
What do you mean dirty tricks? Give me an example.
Yeah, yo.
An example of a dirty
Dirty
trick.
tricks has been controversial, like saying things that's controversial or putting headlines on your podcast or on your content, since we content cowboys, or putting dirty stuff out, or being disrespectful to somebody or to women or something like that. If you do that, I don't think that's cool. Like, and I know you work with another podcaster as well. And I'm not calling that podcaster out for anything.
But guys,
we must all work together.
Like, where's the line with content and like being funny as a comedian and just going too far? Because sometimes that content that you may see going a bit too far might be good content for the next person.
I hear you. And this is case in reference to, I think we need to now mention the podcaster Mac G at this point. Like I don't necessarily like it, but there's a lot of other people that do like it and they do agree with his message, and they actually pay a sort of like a stipend or whatever. I don't know. They give like a 10 rand or something. They can pay as little as 10 rand to him, and I don't know how many people is paying what, but he's making some serious money out there, like. And obviously there's American people that's going against him. So, but there's people in South Africa that's standing up for him. So it's like, you asking where do you draw the line? I don't know. Maybe different cultures perceive things differently, or different positions in the world
I
perceive
think that
things
what you
differently.
said there is important. Different cultures perceive things differently, and like our history as a country is also it's dark, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like everybody has problems, but we get some real bad problems. So we also consume a lot of American culture. We consume a lot of British culture, European culture. So we inundated with that, and we tend to mimic that. So coming up with our own stuff and our original stuff is like, it's very narrow. You know what I mean? It doesn't appeal to a lot of people. So we tend to try to be more broad. Yeah, broad. And that's when you're not really touching on stuff that's about your history, about your culture. So I think it is tough because, like,
do you know what is interesting? We were doing a podcast here, like a UFC podcast, like, and we were pushing out stuff, and we were actually like putting like the picture was going down, like, and we're getting like thousands, maybe, bro. And now we're just going up, and I'm just like, yo, talking, and I'm loving it, bro, because we're interacting with people from all around the world. Like, asking people from like, you mention the country, they're like, hey, where are you from? And I'm like, nah, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. They're like, what's wrong with your accents and stuff like that? They're like, joking me. I'm like going on the phone, I'm Googling them. I see like, it's a friend, bro. Like, yeah, you look like you're eating chips on the sofa, what guy? And I'm asking them, they're like laughing back at me. So like, It was fun, remember, because I was like really getting out to like a big market. Now we putting out this, I don't know, maybe it's going to be shared a lot amongst our type of men. I know Gino gets a lot of, he gets a lot of
Look, let me put it to you like this.
engagement, that's the word. Engagement.
I'm still in disbelief
Yeah.
that if I look at the amount of times I should have been cancelled. I should have been cancelled so many times. Okay, wait. Let me put it like this. I don't think I should have been cancelled. They've tried to cancel me so many times because of the type of content that I put out. But at the end of the day, I just always believe that you just must just tell
But
the
yours
truth.
is political, that's why.
But you must also just not be disrespectful. You see, I don't think that people should be cancelled because your opinion is different. You can be cancelled maybe for hate speech, you were racist, you discriminated or something like that. But I think once you put an opinion out in a constructive way, like I'm at that point where I want to cancel the cancellers now. I want to cancel them now.
Gino's always flirted with cancellation. He never went all the way. He just flirted with it.
You know when to
Couple
pull
of-
back,
Yeah.
or to pull out.
You know when to pull out.
His pull-out game is strong on the cancellation front. But it's true what you're saying also, like how it seems like the whole world is just divided against itself, man. So you have that Mac G situation where you have people on the one side that is just that agree with him, and then on the other side of things, there's people that disagree with him and saying he's disrespectful. But that's just how it is. Like in society itself, everything is just divided against one another. It's like this hard middle there, right? So it's Nike or Adidas, it's PlayStation or it's Xbox. It's
Liverpool United.
Liverpool or United, stuff like that. And then I saw something on Instagram now in the week. It was very, very interesting. I don't know, it was one of the Attenboroughs. I don't know if it was David or Richard. So he gave this analogy. He said if you put black ants
Yeah, I
and
saw
fire
that.
ants
With the red
in,
ants.
in the red ants in the same jar, then nothing will happen. But as soon as you shake up the jar, then that's when shit goes down, because the red ants will try and kill the black ants, and the black ants will try and kill the red ants, but it's only because of the disturbance from outside that has been caused. And that's exactly what is happening with society. Right? It's a disturbance that is outside that is
Interesting topic.
that's putting everyone against one. So it's men against women.
It's polarization.
Yeah.
It's always
Do you know what that
There's no business in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's profit.
So they actually saying that they like there's I know the US are claiming that the Russians are like causing this
They shaking the jar.
they shaking the jar for the Americans. Have you heard this? Like
Hey, I
it's
mean, now this
down.
conversation took a different turn.
No, I'm just saying. We're talking current events, so it's current. So let's go.
I know.
Well, with Russia trying
You
to
know-
invade the Ukraine, I don't know. That seems like shaking.
So you're quite on top of the Russian, the Ukraine thing.
I follow a lot of politics.
Tell
now,
me what's going on
a lot
there.
of Instagram boobies.
Okay, so what's going on with Russia? What's going on? I don't understand what's going on with Russia. I tried to read a bitchy, but I got a bitchy
nationalism,
ADD.
bruh. It's nationalism. It's winding you. It's all about, again, it's division. It's like I am pure blood this and you are not that. It's like, why you can't talk about China and Taiwan.
Okay, the same thing
That's
going
the
down there.
same thing. You know what I mean? People trying to take over things that's not theirs. This is the same shit we deal with every time. And it always boils down to politics. People dividing people. Why? For what? For money. For money. Everything boils down to money. Money and power and resources, bruh.
But
I know
so
it sounds,
Now the topics is getting heavier, yo.
it sounds hectic, but
you see, but sometimes I think that we have existing divisions, and in certain situations expose them, and then it appears to us like it's only coming up now, but it's always been there. Like for example, let's just look at. Like in my opinion, because this is my opinion, let's just make that part clear. Like when people speak about how China is taking over South Africa, but then you look at
Africa.
Yeah, of Africa, well. But let's just talk about SA for now. But if you look at the economy that South Africa was built on and the major corporations, they have been influenced by the West for so many years. Now you see a Chinese person or a family or a group of people taking over a couple of businesses, and we forget that the major corporations are still owned by like England and America, and we look right past that. And then we post on Facebook, China's taking over South Africa.
While you eating at McDonald's,
Yes.
while you busy with KFC, while you shop at Macro, which is owned by Walmart.
While we buy our cigarettes from BAT, British American Tobacco. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then we want to complain about North Africans coming in here. It's like they shaking the jaw, and they've got Africans fighting against Africans. It don't make sense. Why are South Africans wanting to be xenophobic against other African nations, or other African nations that are coming here to try and live a better life, when we've been completely plundered by colonialists? Like the UK plundered, but we love the UK. We want to go to the UK.
We got Liverpool tattoos on our arms.
But
We
they've looted the whole of Africa. for the
Entertainment
resources.
means you entertain the people, they will love you.
You know what I mean? You know,
Are you
and
not
also,
entertained?
Can I just add to Liam's point as well? Like when he speaks about like xenophobia and all that kind of stuff, you know, a lot of people also forget that during apartheid, a lot of these African countries that are coming to us now took care of us.
Yeah.
We could go to them during apartheid. And now they're going through some hard times now. And I'm just saying like we also now need to accommodate them as well.
It's tough though, it's really tough.
No, it's tough.
Yeah.
But
Like we are struggling as a country.
like when we chatted before the podcast,
Yeah.
myself and you were in London.
Yeah.
You know, we went to another country.
Yeah, for a little while. We didn't
Tell the
stay
people
there
what
though.
you did in London, man.
Never mind what we did. We got lit in London, man. That's what happened.
They
And then,
they knew each other, but they
yeah.
didn't know each other. That was amazing.
Were you at
You
some of
guys-
the SA parties?
I was at a lot of places. Listen,
I can neither
listen here.
confirm nor deny.
These guys went hard on the paint of this politicals and stuff like that. It's quite interesting where this direction happens. We're gonna be doing this again, I think, once a month or something like that, or something. Because
Now
we've got
we
a lot to talk about. But before we go to that, I'm lazy, man. I don't like writing. Like, so I thought you help me write, like these guys will help me write, and I got some stories to talk about, like, or maybe you can help me with some stories. I was thinking about high school this week, like yes, and I wanted to think about a happy story, you know, but unfortunately I thought about the sad story first. Like, you remember the high school fights, like,
Sure.
it was bad, man. There was this one brother, Jared. Can you remember him?
Of course I remember Jared.
Can you remember how he got hurt in a fight, like?
Yo, my
Were you
guy.
both at Normies?
Yeah, we were both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you remember that fight?
I tried not to.
Yeah, it's bad. Like. Anyway, I was supposed to be his friend, and I was supposed to stand up there for him, like, and I never stood up for him. Like, and I think at that moment I was a coward. Like,
Because it's scary, bruh. The way they bash people back then was for real.
Yeah.
Even the women fought like men.
Yeah.
There was one kid that I was petrified of.
a girl.
Yes, bruh. She would have met me for sure.
Last podcast we were talking about, like, obviously the bullies, how they used to rock my dingus, like in primary. We were talking about primary school, and it's back to school. That's why I thought we'd talk about school and stuff like that. Obviously, Bevan and I went to Norman Institute together, and Bevan and Gina went to Plumstead.
Liam,
Liam and Gina went to Plumstead together. Yeah, that's why I thought we talk about high schools a bit, like, and what happened in high school.
But
I wanted
the
to talk
schools were
about the
very
high school sweethearts, but Gino didn't want to talk about that.
No, we go there. Eh?
What
But
you were
would you
saying,
say
sorry?
that the schools were quite similar though? Plumstead and Normies. I think
Yeah.
it was a very similar.
You said like a fashion show or something like that.
We always had fashion shows.
Bruh.
When did you matriculate? Or
2001.
okay, so I left in 1998, grade 10.
Yeah.
So I didn't matriculate.
went to
though.
college.
I went to college.
College of Knowledge.
College of Knowledge.
Did you finish at Cape College? Where did you go to?
Yeah, I first went to SP College, and then after that, I went to Cape College for my matric certificate.
Okay.
But I will always say I always missed Plumstead High when I left, because I think, like, you know, like when you go to college, it's like if you don't do your homework, it's fine. Everything is just like relaxed. But I just also missed like the high school experience.
Oh, wait.
But I mean, academically, I was very weak at school. So going to college, I did business and then I just
If I never had art, man, bro, then I wouldn't have made it through it. I just like got high marks for art all the time. Now I'm a graphic designer. So I just I just use the art all the time. Anything else I'm failing, man. But I made it
At
so.
least you
There was
used something
something
in
there. I had that high school not have had art. I maybe have not have made it through. Anyway, just what
But
I
you know,
thought.
chatting about fights, I don't know if you remember this one fight that took place at Plumstead High one day. I don't want to mention names.
Mention name.
Yeah, I don't
Mention
wanna
the
mention
name.
names. I can't.
Somebody got smashed over a girl, no? Was it the girl?
Actually, I don't even think it was about the girl.
It was
But
over land.
You know what?
No,
and stuff like that to in the fight.
I'm actually glad that you actually brought that point up because I'll tell you what happened. When I went to Plumstead High, now we speak in 1996, I'm grade 8, standard 6.
So you went there for 2 years?
6, 7, and 8.
6, 7, 8.
3 years, yeah.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah, 3 years, yeah. And when we went there, our people, colored Kamisa people, were the minority.
I remember.
No,
this.
it's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, and then there was a
When we
majority
came
afterwards.
to 1998, now I'm grade 10, you can ask him, there was a complete flip.
Opposite, yeah, I remember.
No, it was a total flip. In fact,
They went to private school.
Yeah.
but a lot of the fights actually at Plumstead High, in my experience, when we started going there at first, most times was always about racial tensions.
Serious?
In fact, there was this one teacher, and I'm fucking gonna call him out now, Mr. Bierkes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Francois.
Francois Bierkes doesn't
if
get any
FW
more
de Klerk
sports.
had a nephew,
The bra looked like, he looked like, for real, I
mean-
mean, lie to you, the bra looked like a miniature version of Joshua Doe. Like,
Yeah.
same, bro.
but Joshua Doe still had money, by the way. We just add that part in as well. But this was probably, like, in my opinion, like probably like one of the most racist teachers that were at the school at
I
the time.
remember them. Those types like.
He is the same teacher, by the way, that was in the news
Yeah,
about
like-
flashing his tolly at Tokai Forest. You know what I'm talking
Calm
about?
down,
Yeah,
bro.
got good jerk.
Calm down, bro.
Schools in this Brazil go to jail.
Calm
No,
on,
no,
bro. I
this-
remember that
this
story
happened
with
a
the
couple of
brother.
years ago. This
They were to Kai Forest. They were the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
walk
yeah,
like.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
was like wanking it like.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay,
But
you
generally speaking, I say that Plumstead High was a dope school. Like, no, it was dope.
Like you're talking about like the being the minority and then the change, right? Like I was at Heathfield High for standard 6. So I went to Heathfield High standard 6, that was 97. And then the very next the year after that there's a lot of cack that happened at Heathfield High during that year. So the next year for standard 7 I started at Plumstead. But now obviously I'd been to colored schools my whole life. Never, like, honestly, my bro, I went to Montague's Gift in Parkwood, then I went to Squale in Retreat, then I went to Heathfield High. There were no white people anywhere. I didn't encounter white people in my life until 1998. And the first people that I encountered in 1998, now I'm coming in there with a chip on my shoulder. I must be a tough guy now. You're in a new place, you don't know the mensa. And the first people I get acquainted with or get into a row with is Gary and Grant Koen.
I remember that too.
They came from Nomis.
Yeah.
Oh, they went from Plumstead to Nomis. I can't
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Was that the twins?
The
I
one to the
thought that was being
I
moved.
almost fought
I
the
thought
one.
that was being moved by someone very fast, only to come out later. There's 2 of them.
Did they moor you?
Oh wait.
Nah, man, they one
after
tried
that-
to moor me or so,
Nah,
but
afterwards,
I stood my check.
I took my pack. Afterwards, we're like, okay, nah, he's tight. Look, he wasn't.
But
there
I
for
think
long.
their family owned the law. Like,
I still see one of them
the laundromat.
around. I still see one of them around. Which
Probably
one of them
Donovan,
around?
the younger one.
He used to was a good cricketer.
I like it sometimes when I see bullies nowadays. I must leave that. Man.
The bully got bullied. The Netflix special coming here.
Remember, when you came in, your grade brought the yellow scandal, man.
Yo, our grade was horrible, bro.
You had the yellow naughty lighties, me, bro.
When we were standard 6, right, there's a certain number that's there. Of that number, I think 50% failed.
Yo. Now you must know it's naughty lighties.
So
man.
that's what happened.
I remember.
So that's what happened with Plumstead High in standard 8.
Now-
And I'm part of the 50% that failed.
We all swapped each other over. So mensen from Nomis that didn't make it so lekker went to Plumstead.
Yeah.
The mensen that didn't make it so lekker from Plumstead came to Nomis.
And if you didn't make it liquor in both, you went to Bergfleet.
Yo, you like saying like Berkeley's the caca.
But if you have enough money, they'll take anything.
Kijk, They was in a bride school there. He was in Gino's class. He was in my class, and then he matriculated with Gino's sister. That's a grade lower
Yo.
than me.
You finished me, bro.
He finished, man. Aye, the brah
Give me
finished.
applause,
It
man.
was wild back in the day. But yo, have you seen some things, maybe? Like, high
Chicken, but
school-
you have been to some of the Bergfried parties, eh?
I haven't been to a perk.
I was a normal lighty, bro. My high school was
Bro,
like chill.
let me tell you something. As someone that went to Plumstead High, I used to love the Bergfried parties.
Why?
It was
just something different, man.
It was just different, like fresh environment.
Okay.
Sports-wise, I mean, they were also good.
My
But the
bro,
parties-
you can't not mention if you talk about high school, can't not mention like first you go to high school and then you go to the vibe, me bro. When you come on Monday you come to school, me bro. Monday you come to school, me bro. They talk about the vibe, man. You know, slow dancing with this kind of slow dancing.
With my jug of brandy.
And you don't wash that stuff.
Then you must know, look
You
here,
don't
look at
wash
my
the
chappy.
chappy. You don't wash the chappy.
Look at my chappy,
Like
bro.
here's an eye opener for
You
you. The
taking
first
laugh,
time,
bro.
the first
After
time,
the slow dance.
first time I stood in line to go to a party at Vibe. They still had the big screens like outside and stuff. Some of the means are standing, so they've got like music videos and stuff. And the number one song at that time was Danny K Hurt So Bad.
I thought Danny K was
12
American,
hours.
maybe. I thought he was American because the music video was classic.
No,
Voice
in the shower.
Yeah, I was like, yo, but then they told me surname was
Danny
what?
Kochelos.
Kochelos.
Kochelberg.
I was like, damn, son, he did well for himself.
Danny Koppel.
Danny Couple.
But I didn't even couple a feature or nothing.
Yeah, man. So, Gino, we were talking about you got married. Like, did you ever stag, bruh?
Yeah, I did have a stag.
But you had a COVID stag or some kind.
What is that? COVID vaccine?
Social distancing, no lap dances.
No, that's
Yeah, no, the stag was lekker. We actually started, I mean, it's weird, because because I got married at 39.
Okay.
So it was like a very different kind of stag. Like we started the day off with a hike up Lion's Head.
Okay.
I think if I got married at 25, it would be a different kind of stag.
Yeah, you
You
start your hike.
You might not have gotten married the next day.
You start your hike at Mavericks.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So no, it was lekker, yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Bevan was invited. He couldn't come because he's in a relationship now.
Okay. You in a relationship now, bruh?
Really?
I was this speak about it.
I have a child. I have to look after my child.
I remember some messed up stags, man. I've been to some messed up stags. I don't know if it's just me, but every time we went on a stag, right, me and my brother, we went to go camp, man, bro. We went to go camp by
Oh, that's an old school stag.
old school dirty, man, bro.
Zoetwater.
We used to
He knows this, man.
Medusa.
So this one year, right?
you must sleep in the
my one brascali stag, right? We go camp at Zoetwater. And at that time, there's a biker rally going on.
Swallows must be swallows.
I don't know. I don't know which bikers, me bro. They're having a biker rally, me bro. They're going down. So me and my other bro, okay, we party there at our place, but we pass out and stuff like that. Or the men pass out, and there's only 3 of us left, right? Me and my other 2 brothers. So we walk over to the bikers rally. We party in the top all night there. This one bro, Ashley, I don't know what his name. I would have pimped him now. He stole me, bro. He stole like a bottle of rum at that place, man, bro. Won't that the bikers come and look for us, like. Anyway, this is a cock story. I was hoping it's going to be a bit better.
They came to
Roby Division, didn't you? Okay, so do you know where that bottle stealing came from?
Where?
Roby Division. So Roby Division, you know that song, leave that.
Sound like a special
Suma start tonight and I look for kak with karate in my eye cause I say pasak. Plus I got the quiet jeans that I uitgevat. If you break in with the tires then I'm sticking it plus. Papa. But anyway.
Okay, Roby.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a song on, I'll play it for you sometime. Roby Division. I was part of a rap group or something at the time, yeah.
Damn, son, you've lived a wild life, bro.
You lived the cowboy life.
Me and you still spoke about us at the time, bruh.
Yeah.
Because you were doing that fashion shows or something like that. And I was like, bruh, I'm gonna do this. And then I did something with Stippehead. Yeah. You can always Diamond Roman, I must get Diamond your twin.
Yo, cry baby, me bro. Cry baby entertainment.
look alike, right?
Cry baby entertainment.
Cry baby entertainment. Hey, you talking about stags, nah?
Yeah. Tell me about your stag.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my stag. We went to a driving range, and then afterwards we went to Chili Bar. I didn't want to do the whole strip club thing. I don't grant strip clubs, man. It's just
me also.
It's not my thing. Nah, wait.
Not me.
Wait.
My stag,
Let me
we can't talk about
but
my
I'm
stag. I talk
talking-
about other people's.
But I'm here to talk about Bevan's stag, man.
When did Bevan get married? Did Bevan get married?
Oh, wait.
But I'm divorced. I just got married for the stag.
Bevan.
I need to get us some ice. man.
I was at Bevan's stag.
Some ice there.
So the whole thing, so the evening, well, it was like an afternoon, evening thing that started, but it started, Bevan was still living in Heathfield at the time.
Yeah,
What was it?
Heathfield.
Heathfield, Berkeley, they by Heathfield Spa. So the day started there. So the Owens were like buying and drinking or whatever, but I wasn't drinking at that time. I'd stopped drinking at that time. So I was at Bevan's stag drinking tea.
So why you lying?
Tea, my bro. I was drinking tea.
Tea.
I'm rubbing these.
This was when Liam was single.
No, my wife was was part of his bridal party.
Yeah. Liam was never single. Liam was born with a mochi.
Facts, bro. So anyway, so now the entertainment came. She did her thing and everything, and now the ones are getting ready to go to town. Okay, we're gonna go to town, but I got no smart to go to town because those brasses, they all lit already. they are plastered. So now they got a van that's gonna take us through to town, and my car is parking outside Bevan's flat. So I came up with a plan. I was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna go lam in the car. I'm gonna run down first. I'm gonna go lam in the car, and I'm gonna wait there. And if I hear one person say, "Where's Bento?" then I'm gonna get out of the car and I'm gonna go with. Not one person asked where I was. The van lined. I sat for like 2 minutes until the van was gone, and then I started my car, went home. Didn't say anything to no one.
Why would we ask where you are? We all lit. We didn't even know where we were. I had stripper booty hand marks on my ceiling, man, bro. Like it was that invisible ink stuff. That stuff. Like if you put the light off and then it glow in the dark. Like
But I don't understand. Your thing was stupid. I don't know how we started in town, went back to your place, and then left your place again to go back to town.
I don't know, bro. That was the way they booked the strippers was weird.
I had a 3-day stag. We started off in town, did our thing in town, went to Soetwater the next day, and the Sunday we just like laying there like tried snoep, me bro. We can't eat. Yeah. Can we go on? Must drink a must.
Yeah, that's when you start listening to Judy Boucher, mos.
Everything become cock sad on that Sunday, me bro.
Yo, two places at the same time.
Contemplate your life, me bro. Like yeah.
When did you get married though?
Me, you see, don't ask me complicated. 2016 or 2015, one of that.
But I mean, you were in your 30s.
Yeah, I was in my 30s. I got married quite late, yeah, but me and my wife were living together for a while. So,
Yeah, you guys have been together for a while, yeah.
Yeah. Since I came back from London.
That's like 2008, 2009.
2009, yeah, before 2009, yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna leave it there, guys.
Yeah, we just leave it there. There's some wild shit going there, man. No, thank you.
So, Chicken, must we talk about the sponsor here tonight, or we just drinking cocktails like?
This Talking Heads podcast is brought to you by.
It's not brought to anything, but we're drinking some Marshalls and we're making some
Marshalls here, man.
And we're drinking it with some gin, dry gin, like sponsored by Gino. Getting quite lit, yeah.
Sponsored by Gino's Mochi.
Actually sponsored by Gino's wife. Gino's wife, yeah.
Yeah, not him.
But you guys remember back
My
in the
wife.
day when that Buckies used to drive past with the cool drinks on the back?
Yeah.
With the different brands
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
run like crazy.
Yeah.
No, but I wasn't a commoner. I had mixed drink in the fridge.
Hey, bro, you lived opposite the Harmony. What do you know?
Yeah, 11 in one.
I didn't say the van didn't come past me. I just wasn't going to chase it.
Bruh, you know that single glass cool drink like he's talking about. You chill that, bruh. On the hot summer that you crack it open, you just like, you just trumpet that. You know how liquor is it? Yo, it's liquor.
But if you open that bottle in front of your friends, you shout, one man. Immediately,
No
you shout,
guts.
one man.
No guts.
You made so all about quality. I was about quantity. I used to buy a 2 liter, no name brand, nothing. And I just take it for myself.
Because
man.
more is more.
More is for me.
Do you guys also have that soda stream machines? Do you remember that?
That's what fancy means.
Nah, we never had one, but I remember that thing, yo.
I know my friends had that. That's why I
Yeah,
would
my
go
auntie
there.
in Fairways had that.
Yeah.
The auntie with the face brick house.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's always,
There's always just one auntie with a face brick house and a double garage.
Yeah, in the double garage in
And a double
Fairways.
garage.
And she had a pool, man.
And a pool.
Yeah. We were
Cheyenne
so
Bay.
near us, I was like,
So does it make everything taste liquor?
Sure.
Put my whiskey in there.
I don't drink so much anymore because I got locked up or so.
What?
Yeah, someone give you some other story. Yeah,
Does me come out wild, you know?
yeah I got
man,
locked up for
That's
drinks.
like a real cowboy.
No cowboy. I'm a fucking cowboy, bro. That cowboy, bro. Yeah, we telling all my secrets tonight to my group here.
I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, so I got fucking locked up, man, bro. Me and my bro went to UFC. That was the White Tiger versus Pena. Yo, just UFC, me and my bro. Angelo's getting lit there, me, bro. I still got the take me home service. I tell the take me home service to come. As they supposed to be there, they get in. I found them. They're like, where you? They're like, nah, they're somewhere else. We coming now. I'm like, nah, whatever. I'm tuk gesayp. Put down the phone. Tup, ride the car. Maybe I ride all the way home. And as I'm riding home, I have an altercation with another car. This car follows me and they chasing me. Like I end up in Plumstead, like in Woodgate Road. Like I hit the curb. Like as I'm going to hit the curb, I stop the car. This other bra, like a neighborhood watch bra, come running out from nowhere, grab my keys out of the car and say, "Yeah, you going nowhere? You drunk." My bro, I wait there and stuff like that. There they lock me up, my bro. They are, yo, tuk gesayp in the cell. Sober, tuk gesayp in the cell. And now I'm awake. You're like, so, and I can't sleep. I try to sleep.
Place to sober up.
My bro, it's the worst place to be.
Did you have a blanket? Did you at least have a blanket in the cell?
My bro, that thing got flea infested. Kak, my bro, you just.
You guys have shoelaces there. You worried about blanket?
You don't have shoelaces.
Wait,
They take your shoelaces.
I'm still trying to figure out this
It's like
man's
kak on
in
the
a
wall,
getaway
bro.
and he goes through Plumstead. I'm still trying to figure that part out.
I don't know.
Like, that's like...
Oh, no. You forget the part
I
where it says he
grew
was
up in
gesayp.
Plumstead, bro.
He was gesayp. Doesn't know he's in
don't know.
Bro,
Plumstead.
I grew up in Plumstead. We lived there for 22 years. That's like Karens all over the place there.
Yeah, bro.
Even the men are like Karens there. Like, you know what I'm trying to
Did
say?
I know? But anyway, I learned from that. So now I Uber everywhere.
You learned
And
nothing. Listen here. Wait,
and-
did you spend the night in jail?
Yeah.
They didn't bail you out. Nobody can fit you.
Nah, you're not allowed to, bruh.
I was let you out the next day.
Like, net out the next day.
Do you get something to eat?
A boiled egg and toast, like.
What?
A boiled egg and one slice of toast, like. And coffee, black coffee.
Now, what if you can't have gluten?
Who boiled the egg?
Yeah,
You just have
trust
the
me, bro.
boiled
They
egg.
just give it to you like a
boiled
tuck,
egg.
tuck. Like, it's like in a sticky, like, what's it? What's it? Cling wrap. It's in cling wrap like that, a boiled egg. I ate the boiled egg and I smite the toast away, man, bro.
Nah, it sound like the one and
I
only.
drank the coffee.
You get coffee, boiled egg, toast,
Black
a
coffee.
blanket. Slicker.
My bro is like kak on the walls or so, like, I hate you, mom, like. Kak like that. A bread to kak and wrote that on the wall.
I literally
This is
thought
so
he
weird,
meant
man.
Yeah, I
there's
just
cat
meant
on the
like-
wall, like there's just random shit
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
wall. But
yeah.
he actually meant there's shit on the wall.
Yeah. Because somebody who took a shit in obviously had a kak in that place and then they just like disgusting.
So
man.
that could be an NFT if you took a picture. You know, you could monetize that. That's odd.
My bro, that is traumatic shit, man, bro. It is trauma, like it is
That's
traumatic
hectic,
shit.
man,
Like.
bro.
But
Because
going to the cell.
you know what happened? There was like in the cell, because there was a moment where like you got nowhere to go and you go in. It's like in a confined. It's almost like what you call it, trapped. But what do people call it when they in a confined space?
Like
Claustrophobic.
solitary confinement.
Like
Not claustrophobic.
is it claustrophobic? Yeah, but it was like claustrophobic, but like you in the cell and there's no way you can get out of this because it's so locked. There's like, yeah, it's
So
like
you are trapped.
You
You
are
are essentially
trapped.
just trapped.
And that play on your mind, man. It's like a pain. Yo,
I remember being grounded as a lighty though, but I could still like go out once a day.
That's white people problems. I already went to metro
but
rail
you know,
jail.
obviously,
You idiot like you, bro.
I was in Metro Rail jail, bro. Have you ever been there before?
Oh,
Did you know Metro
Metro
Rail
jail.
I was.
Where were we coming from?
Metro Rail jail.
From Cape, we were coming from Cape Town.
From Cape Tech, yeah. We coming from Cape Tech one day, and this idiot decided, he's too cool to use a door. Decided to climb out the window for no apparent reason. We weren't far from the door. He just decided, last this. I'm jumping out the window. As he jumped out the window,
Metro Rail police, bro. What is Metro Rail police, bro? It's dumb. So dumb. I was like, what is
Nah,
what?
but you dumb.
Metro
I used to
Rail
jump
police.
terrain. We used to jump terrain, and that's why we got caught. Like, but you, how can you jump out the window and get caught?
I didn't want to use the door, bro.
You know what we used to do? We used to go to art classes in Newlands, nah? And then we used to come back. We used to like spend the money obviously on chaperones and kak. And then
Steal
we come
train.
back and then we steal train and then they fang us. But yeah, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. This depends where you hop off. Like.
I'm not that adventurous anymore, bro. I'm too scared.
Yeah, those were the days, nah. Stealing train, like.
Stealing train and doing weird shit. But I like you're trying to give you money for like Metro Plus, and then you blast that crown and you buy Metro.
You say Metro?
Third class ticket, and then you still skip Metro Plus anyway.
you come home from varsity, stop there by Babu and Millie them.
And then you buy apple bumpers and choke yourself off to death.
Sure.
So, you know, you never did much tertiary education.
No, and well, I went to.
But your education came through doing shit.
Yeah, for sure. So I went to ETA and I did sports management for like a year, and I don't even think I passed.
But I
dropped
mean,
out of the college.
you would do their own business, like, so it's like you never used tertiary education. You just used work to gain that knowledge, or hard grit, like to gain that where you are now, like.
Yeah, sure. So I think like to me that was like my tertiary education. I don't think I had like, well, I mean, I know I didn't have like the formal tertiary education the way we see it. But to me, like the work is tertiary education, and I just also think it's like what we deem as tertiary education.
But they were talking about Cape Tech, like. Do you went to Cape Tech?
Nah,
But that was after
Cape
school.
College.
Nah, we were at UCT.
At UCT.
We had
Okay.
We had Brussels Cape Tech.
Okay. Excuse me.
Nah, but we did dumb we did dumb stuff at
You went
UCT, man.
UCT.
Yeah.
I thought you went Cape
How
Tech.
would you use it?
But I got 2 degrees, man, bro. I'm like Deborah Petter.
I don't really use it to UCT. I thought, he's got maybe.
We just brought in archaeology together.
Is it?
Archaeology.
Archaeology, my bro.
Yeah,
That was the
bro.
dumbest class ever. 8 o'clock in the morning.
We were psych majors, bro. That never
Whoa.
finished.
Oh, yeah.
You see, so now we getting to
And
know
you've
people.
never worked in the industry.
No, bro. Never.
Wait, are we speaking about like
No, it wasn't-
archaeology?
yeah,
like,
but it
as in
wasn't
bones?
But it was an archaeology major. It was just
Subject.
it was just
a subject.
Yeah, a course that we did.
So what
Not
were you
for part of the
studying?
degree.
What were you studying at the same time together? Or
I was doing Bachelor of Social Science.
You were doing social science?
Yeah, I was doing SOCSA. Yeah.
Okay.
and you were doing?
I was doing psych. So I was doing like, the major was psychology.
Yo, you guys got into UCT, man.
Maybe it was not a big deal.
But it's not a big deal at all. Like that time they were looking for colored
You
people.
could at least have that tracksuit top.
I had a bursary and alles mee, bro.
You know, the tracksuit top at all people wear.
You could also be
Our first year.
Oh, wait.
Our first year at varsity, and like we spent most of our time in the sports center.
kicking
And we
ball,
playing kicking ball. And we ended up playing for indoor soccer team with Clint Easthuizen and Scott Ross and
we
Ross.
completely fucked up our first year.
And the team's name was called Underprivileged Superstars.
No, but that was right. That was the perfect name for the day.
The ghetto never left us, bruh.
What about you though, Ryan?
Left
Did you
us.
st-
I studied graphic design, bro.
Where?
CPUT, but in Peninsula Technical on that time. That's in Belleville.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Per
yes, yes.
Pente.
So you used to go all the way to Belleville every day?
Yeah, so first I used
Tried.
to travel, and then the first year, and then my fortunately my parents they were They were generous enough to
Couple in my vehicle.
couple me a vehicle, yeah. So I had a vehicle from when I was like 18 years old. A Golfie. And I used to
I
be
think I actually remember the golf.
Varko Buta.
Wait, I actually think I
I
remember
was
the
a
golf.
vark in the good year, Buta.
I think I actually remember the golf though.
Yeah, I had a red one and then I first had a red Golf and then I had a maroon one. Papachi, that maroon Golfie. Hey, the people will always you.
This
Yes,
man
yes.
is.
Yes, yes.
I'm learning so
We
much.
took it one day, we broad slide that. Listen, yeah. This is what happened. This is the story. This is the story that happened.
Put that sound on.
This is the story. Put the story. Put the background. Give me a background.
Fast and the Furious.
This is the story. This is the story, right? So my one brother Scully, that's normally my co-host over here. He's coming down from whatever. I got this girl with me, like that. I met this girl the night before. Now, I knew her for a while, but the night before, we were together. So the next day, I take her with me to Kai Forest, right? Me, her, and I think it was Scully in the car at that time. We gooi him everywhere. And then we meet my brother there. There's a moose lot of people there. Everybody's pulling up to Kai Forest. Everybody, that day is like, you know, everybody's pulling up to Kai Forest. The some brasa come to us, like this brasa. I will say the names, but they know who they are. The one guy's passed already. They come there to us. They start looking for trouble with us. The one guy says to me, like, yay. I say, yay, you're not going to eat here with us. The one brasa say, yay, what, you're not telling me whatever. I don't know what happened. I take the top, I throw it at him. I say, yay, whatever, you can lie now, whatever, and stuff like that. Those guys were there to see the girl that was with me. I didn't know that. So they were moving in on me, so they were planning to do on me. Like, this girl pulled me a D. But anyway, besides that, this Owens like start rushing me. 3 of them slutting me, rolling me, hitting me to the ground. In the back, I just hear clink, 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 clink. Come running along. I just hear like bottles breaking, like 750s breaking. I just see blood all over. I'm like, oh, fuck. I get up and the glass like fall off me and I'm like, hey, there's fuck all on me. And there's 2 dudes, like this one bra and this other bra got like deep cuts in their face, man. My bra Scully came running from nowhere and like cut them up like, fuck. Like Deadpool.
What up to Scully? Guys, what up to Scully? What up to Scully?
Thanks to Scully. He fucks them up. So fucked up. They don't know what's going on. There's like 10 of them there and it's me and Scully alone, me bro. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fuck you up now. We're gonna take out guns. We're gonna shoot you and what. I'm like, whatever the fuck ever, coming. I take the one bra, popular guy, quite popular. I'll tell you his name after dingus. Takes a glass, he throws me, he misses me, I dodge it, I run for him. As I'm about to get him, this other bra Fingaz, rest in peace Fingaz, because he passed away recently from prostate cancer. But Fingaz shouts to me, Joey, throw me the golfie keys. I throw P Fingaz the golfie keys.
It's a movie.
I throw Fingaz the golfie keys and I get this bra. Bah. And I'm about to slut him. Scully's like, yeah. Bah, slut, miss. He got me. I'm with him. I'm like, ah! And then something happens. We like, we're about to kill each other, me and this bra. And I'll tell you his name after, so you know him.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
We're about to kill each other, my bro. They pull us away from him.
I thought that I loved the hell of a life.
They pull us away from each other. Scully pull me away from each other. Scully grabbed me. Hey, my bro, we must go. We jump in the back seat of the Golfie. We jump in the back of the Golfie. The country's in the front seat. The kind that caused all the cock. Fingaz is driving. Fingaz move that Golfie out the fucking to Kai Forest. Broad sliding out of Dennis. We drop Scully off at his ex in town, my bro. We go back to Eddie's house in Grassy Park. At Eddie's house in Grassy Park, these guys catch me, bro. They say, "Hey, ons weet waar Bubbles bly." All of them, all 10 of them, is at Eddie's house. Eddie in Grassy Park. They start slutting me, muff, pop. They can't get me. They kill me off. They got stitches in their face. They can't get me. Eddie's mommy and daddy come out. Eddie's sister start fucking them up, one by one, getting them off me. I'm like, yo,
I like Eddie's sister.
God is with me today. No scars, me, but no scars. This big bra come running with gold rings on him like that. Hit me in my face. Poof. my was there is like, hey, what you doing? They stopped the whole thing. My own Matan is there. I'm like, yo, they take us to the police station.
What the actual fuck?
I don't know why he's so surprised. This bruv.
Next time, Stan gonna tell the story with me. It's a
But
fucking
the
real
bruv
story,
knows
bruh.
into Kai's forest already, my bro.
It's a fucking awesome story, but yeah.
But do you guys find like say
Anyway, that was long
That
time
is
ago.
mad, guy.
96, 97 till the early 2000s, just in general, was a very volatile era. Like high school fighting, like fights at Tokai Forest, fights at Vibe. Like it was just a very rough era. I
No,
know you guys feel
we
the
were
same.
just rough people.
No, but I'm saying it was also like a very rough era in general. Like now, if there's a
I
fight
shouldn't
at
have
the
told
school,
that story now.
That story
like if there's a
is...
fight at the
It's a
schools
fucking
now,
true story, man. We can ask God.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's true what you say. Like you maybe weren't living it, but there was that feeling of volatility.
Yeah,
in the country,
always.
man. It felt like
It was
heavy.
always-
And at the time, you're too young to understand what it's all about.
Yeah.
But then later in life, and with hindsight, you
look
learn,
back.
you look back and you learn about all the political moving that was happening at the time, and it's like you can understand now how the country is trying to slowly integrate with each other because it's now supposed to be a new South Africa, and you don't understand it at the time because you were light, you're just trying to live your life or whatever, and then but there's tension everywhere, and that tension just comes out on the playground for some odd reason.
I think you
don't
were just...
understand why.
I think you were just...
I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's like, for me, like just talking about that story and like the history of violence basically is like, it's because like from a young age, I think I was introduced to violence. I used to get hidings from my daddy, like with a leather belt, man, bro. Yo, and I'm sure many of you also got hidings. You know what I mean? So that like just the way we were brought up that time, I try not to hit my light, even though it's like, don't do that, man. Don't do that. But I don't, man. But yeah, for our parents to even bring that, introduce that violence into our lives from an early age, like because that was introduced into them. So now we talk about generational, what do they call that now?
generational curses and barriers.
Yeah, like sort of like brought on from
sure.
passed on, like.
Yeah,
but-
well,
so hopefully we stop in that
The
now.
sins
Like, you know
of
what I
the
mean?
father, yeah, so it's passed down. So you're trying to like break the wheel and break the cycle. It's
Away,
difficult.
away.
It's
Tough, bro.
It's
That's all.
difficult.
Because
Guys, let's be honest, it's hard not to move people. I'm gonna tell you straight, it's very hard not to move people. When you're a teenager, you filled with testosterone, you filled with self-doubt, you filled with ego, and you don't want to be taken for a gat, man. So that's why you become, that's why you are, and it is passed down from generation to generation, and that's why we are different. We know, we've experienced it firsthand, and now we also don't do it. Because now you're kind of stopping it. And I guarantee you, the next generation to come will never know what it's like to get the hiding proper because you wouldn't have given it. You know what I mean? And then they will grow up
I hope
knowing.
there's less also bullies, like, because I remember there was like klomp bullies, like at school, like I was terrified of bullies, man. That's where my like how I should have react to situations came from, is because I was like bullied a lot, like. So that I'm trying to learn from that, like, and like see that in myself, man. Hey, where does that come from? Where does that wanting for violence come in? Like trying to understand it all the time. Oh, okay, maybe my hadn't hit me with that leather belt. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. Oh, maybe at this stage I was bullied and that made me so upset and want to like sort of
act out.
against it. And I act out in a wrong way. Like.
React to it. Because I mean,
Yeah.
getting physically like, handled is a cock feeling.
Yeah.
So you wanna react to it. How do you react to it? You either scream or you don't do anything physical. Like
Maybe, and if I had to be really honest, like, and which is a deep regret, is like even the way I reacted towards some girlfriends, like, and I must own up to that kak, because there's a lot of people that's not owning up to that kak. Like sometimes you did treat women bad, and I have to say to myself, like, you, Joe, on that time when you were with that girl, that's not the way you should have reacted. That's not the way you should have conducted yourself with a female. Like, lucky for you, you only had one girlfriend, my friend, for a long time. But for me, like the way
the school benches, bro.
yeah, that's for the way that I was, like at the period, to go through I made some mistakes along the way, man. But now I'm working on being better, like.
Yeah, for sure. But I also think like the way some of our parents dealt with us, they just went like a bit overboard. Like with things that we could have just talked about.
Yeah.
Like you got a clap.
Yeah.
So you grow up and you think that the way to resolve a problem at school or in your social circle is to be physical and violent.
Yes.
You know, and that definitely was not the way to go. And like people always say like, yes, but now the generation of today, they're so disrespectful because they don't get clubs. There's always been a percentage of a generation that's going to be naughty, going to be disrespectful, even with hiding.
Yeah.
Can I just say something, guys?
Yeah.
I agree full-heartedly with you, but we need to understand that. I'm hoping my voice is enough for this.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you want to come?
But we need to realize that our parents dealt with apartheid, man.
Absolutely.
It was a crime against humanity,
Yeah.
and they demasculated the males. They couldn't make the money that they know they could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were held back. The ceiling was set lower for them.
Yes.
So I dealt with the same thing like with my father and whatever. But as I got older, I understand him better.
Yeah.
And I understand his times better. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Anxiety and all that stuff. So
Yeah. I also
I'm
just
cool.
want to add that, like, no, you can keep the mic there because you might want to say something back. But, like, I also just want to add, like, I get where you're coming from fully because remember, as a colored male being our dads here, when they were at work with a white boss, they were being humiliated the entire day. So when they come home, that's their castle.
yeah.
But now remember, they're not made to feel like a man at work. So when they come home, that's when they can be the man.
And they're overstepping the.
Now they come home, they've been humiliated the entire day. That's when their ego and their pride can now come out. So now they take that bad moods out on us. I mean, you know, if I speak to some of my friends, they will always say to me, like, when their father came home, the vibe of the household just is going to change now.
It's my dog.
Everybody quiet, daddy's home,
Sad.
you know, blah, blah. So yeah, I get where you come fully, yeah.
Big piece of chicken, give off.
Give off
Yeah.
a big piece of chicken, yeah. Because remember, we forget that, like, you know, we talk about anxiety, you talk about depression, you talk about all that stuff. Almost like it didn't exist back then. It
Correct.
existed,
Yeah.
but nobody labeled it. Nobody had things, support
Like none of
systems.
our fathers are going to say they need to go to a psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
My old must even tell me that he's depressed. I will laugh at him because he's that kind of
Yes.
bra. I'll think, you're never depressed, you don't have anxiety because I just know him like that. I see him as a bra that's like
Sure.
a rock that's just like no emotion or
Sure.
whatever. You know what I mean? That's how I perceive him to be.
Yeah.
But that's not the truth. Everybody cries, everybody's broken, everybody, you know, everybody gets weak, all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
we forget that. And it's important to raise it up and to bring it and talk about it because a lot of people try and hide it and that's bullshit. Like we human and we break. That's
And like
Just
sometimes,
think, just think about it also from our perspective now as well. How weird it must be for us to be that middle ground, that conduit between the two. So you got the generation above us, who's like our fathers, our mothers, stuff like that, where people didn't give a fuck about how you feel. So who cares about your fucking feelings? And then there's a generation after us, which is our lighties, where they're being taught express your feelings, talk about how you feel. And now we in the middle, where we grew up with parents that didn't care how you felt, but now you need to try and get your own lighty to express how they're feeling.
My
weird.
kids are 6 and 5 years old, and they talk a lot about their feelings. You are making me feel like this.
Yeah.
They speak openly about it. I think because of you, when I was that young, I couldn't even comprehend my feelings.
Yes.
I never knew how I was feeling at the moment.
Yes.
They say you making me feel sad. This is making me feel sad.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you were that age and they ask you like, how do you feel? And you're just like, like there's no description to it. It's just like a sound.
Yeah.
Because that's how you
It starts
feel.
For me is just saying I love you.
Yeah.
My parents.
Well, kids, yes.
If I tell my mother I love you, mama, she will say I love all of you guys.
But me, man. But me.
I say to my kids, like, I love you. It's like so easy for me to say to my kids, I love you. But my parents will say so to my kids, I love you. But I think they skip. They skip that one a bit.
That's weird. That is so weird, bruh. It's so weird. But you know what? I also think it boils down. It's also education, man. Like we forget that. I don't. When I say education, I don't mean in the sense of like tertiary and formal. Nothing like that.
you
But
mean emotional education?
emotional education and also learning capacity of things, because frustration comes in when you can't express yourself emotionally.
Yeah.
When you can't express yourself with your intellect, like in your mind you can think a lot of things, but you can't express it properly. You know, you can't say it, you can't put it into
You do
words.
not articulate yourself.
Yes, you can't articulate, and that is frustrating. And that is why that's where that rage also comes from, and because you know what you want to say or how you feeling, but you can't get it out there, and that's when it comes out the wrong way, and that's why it's so important to to take in content that's good for you mentally, good for you emotionally, and also like doing physical things as well. Like we take all that stuff for granted, but it's a holistic approach. You
I
gotta
agree
have
with
all
the
that stuff.
physical. I agree with the physical thing. Like that's my
You a
therapy.
specimen, bro. You a specimen.
That's my therapy. But I'm not a specimen. I think that's this other people. You know what I was speak about this? Like I still got body dysmorphia, like from when I was a lighty. Like it's still I still see myself as a skinny kid, and like I still see myself as like everybody's bullying me now. I still see myself like it sometimes. Like it's weird that this, and yeah, maybe because when I was that age, I didn't have anybody to tell. Maybe my uncle, I remember, used to bully me in front of the whole family. Hey, you snooky. Used to call me skinny. In front of the whole family, 30 people laugh, grandmother, grandfather, all laugh. Hey, Snooky, you eat 1 pea a day. They all laugh at me. Look at you, Ryan. And now each one of that people I can choke out. I can fuck them all up, out run them, out jump them. But you see, there's a problem there, man. There's a problem there because I shouldn't have that reaction, man. I shouldn't have that reaction that wanting to prove that I'm better to them. I should just be like
Just
cool
be
with
better.
it. Yeah, I should just be cool with it. But it's a problem, Liam, because it's like I need to be. You know what I mean? Because I was at the disadvantage for so long. Now I need to prove you wrong, and it's a problem because I should do it in a healthy way and not in a sick way.
But we also come from an era where like comments get told to break you down. Like the uncle's always gonna say something wrong.
Yeah.
Your brother, your sister.
Yeah.
It's an era of like the teasing, like saying something to make you feel so that I can get the kick from that. But like as he's pointing out now, and as you pointing out with your kids as well, now we're into a different generation.
Yes.
Where if someone says something wrong, you can call them out, and like 6-year-olds now can tell a 40-year-old uncle, I don't like what you said.
Yeah.
Can you picture me telling my 40-year-old uncle
that's
when I was
good,
6 years
bro.
old? No, it's fantastic.
Because
But
that
I'm
same
saying, can
uncle
you-
catch some crack on the side, you know what I mean?
Exactly. No, I agree
So
with you
now
fully.
they're vocal to say that.
But here's
point.
where it went a little bit wrong though. If we were 6 years old and we told our 40-year-old uncle, I don't like what you said, our parents may have even checked us.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to Uncle Liam like that? You know what I mean? So no, it's changed for the better as well, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just think about it. How many little girls, like maybe that uncle had a problem.
Yeah.
And little girls, like maybe spoke back or something like that. And it was just shushed, like, you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Nah,
And
100%.
especially in our community where that was rife, like,
100%.
you know what I mean?
Nobody
So-
wanted to deal with confrontation.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to deal with anything that was abnormal. So
What
they
are
would
the
rather,
neighbors gonna say?
Yeah, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna think? Not about the action and what happened and how we're gonna deal with it. It's like, no, leave this rather, and we just go on living our lives like that. And it's always hush, 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 hush. And that's why, like, even as old as I am now, like, it's weird because like sometimes I don't think I must say certain things and I must know my place and stuff. Maybe though I'm almost 40, and I still feel like there's sometimes where I'm not. I feel like I don't belong in the conversation or something like that. It's like, where does that come from? It comes from your upbringing and the way we were taught to be. Be a bit af. Be a bit af. Don't ask so many questions. Don't be involved in so many things. And that's why you see the comments in that. We always put down people that want to better themselves, but through dance, through music, through stuff. Somebody play a guitar, you might cut them. You walk like always, Stevie Wonder to sing liquor, please be hand. Like, why do we do that? You know what I mean?
Sometimes I think we should have been taught how to engage and not be taught not to engage.
Yes. How
Do you know,
to engage?
it's a good point you're making there, and I feel that you speak up for yourself more than a lot of other people, but sometimes like you don't know how to engage. But it's good that you engaging, like you make a few mistakes when you're engaging with him.
No.
But it's good that you stand up for yourself. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Whereas with other people like me, I was getting bullied. I wasn't standing up for myself. I was just like quiet.
Yeah.
Now afterwards,
Now you throw hands.
yeah, no, but also like it's like thing like asking for a raise at work, asking for stuff like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I'm bullied, I'm less likely to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
I deserve X amount of money.
Yeah.
Whereas you will say, yo, bruh, I deserve this money, and you know what I mean?
I was actually chatting to a friend of mine that has kids, a girl.
Yeah.
You know Lynn and Lana, donors from Fairways. No. They went to Wynberg Girls.
I'm
We
gonna
don't,
say, I'm
but
gonna
it's
say
fine.
the colored thing. I must see the
No,
face.
no. So I was chatting to her, right? And she's got kids as well.
Yeah.
And this is what she said to me. She said, you know, what happens is a lot of times in public, when you see white families with their kids and the kids are having fun and they're going wild, the parents are of course keeping an eye on them, but they're letting their kids have fun. When you see that same situation with parents and kids of color, and the child is having fun and going wild, the first thing that they may shout is, hey, behave yourself.
Yes. Don't do that.
Act right.
Don't jump on it.
And what happens
I do that.
you start tampering with your child's confidence. So a lot of times when you see a kid at a table on their cell phone, a lot of us go, wow, your kids are so well behaved. No, that child has been tampered with. That child is now censored on their phone all the time. Your child isn't well behaved, by the way. And what happens is you've tampered with your child's confidence and they go into adulthood. And now they go into the corporate space. And now you have, like what Bevan is chatting about, now you think twice before you have to say something. And that's why in the corporate world, a lot of white people are so confident because they grew up with that freedom. So they speak in the boardroom. They say what they're thinking, even if they're not right.
That's 100% correct.
And I had to actually break that mindset of myself as well because, I mean, I do come from a household where I have parents that are very, both outspoken. You guys all know who Glenda is. Yeah. So I grew up with that. But to a degree, I also had to learn, like, you have to just say it. Yeah.
It's also like, it's how you say things, man. It's not, sometimes like people, they say, you mustn't do this and you mustn't do that. It's not that. It's not the case, man. It's like, how you bring it across to somebody.
No, for sure.
That's what it's all about. Rather say something than say nothing. Because what you gonna learn by saying nothing? Yeah. You're gonna learn fuck all.
And also, I think the fear of making mistakes must disappear now.
Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big part of that aspect. The failure.
Fear of failure.
I as a lighty hated failing because who was there to support you or help
Do
you when you failed?
Do jiu-jitsu.
My niece said no.
But you need to.
How's your knee?
That's why sport and all these things are so important. Because when you do sport, when you do dance, and you do all this stuff, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes. And it teaches you, you know what you must do when you make a mistake? Try again. Until you perfect something or until you get it to a point where you are happy with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree with you on that aspect. We must encourage kids to be kids. And we must also encourage each other as adults, bro, because we are still learning. We are 100% still learning and figuring out ourselves and our confidence and the spaces that we find ourselves in and like also helping each other, man. That's the main thing is like support one another, stop this petty cack.
Yeah.
But it's crazy also, right? Because like Ryan was saying earlier on how he feels like it's almost like he feels like he doesn't belong in certain circles. You also saying like you don't feel like you belong in certain situations. Like I find myself in company with people that I never imagined I would have been in the company with, and like to me it's almost like you get that sense of being starstruck, and then you spend enough time around these people, and then you realize they're just people like you.
Yeah.
So maybe they've got more, they've gained more success. They've worked harder. Because there was less fear in them, or there was a market that they were able to really corner, and they worked hard at it. But at the end of the day, no matter their success or their standing, they're just people like you, so they have fears as well. And they just don't express it in the same way. They express it differently, and they're able to move past those fears, so they can address those fears within them and say like, look.
Those motherfuckers double down when they see it, they work some harder.
Yeah.
Because they're worried, they're concerned, they some work harder. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, fuck it, if I'm gonna fuck it up, let me fuck it up gloriously. Like,
so like, it's again, so people, like we were talking about the fear of failure, like everyone has that fear of failure, but it's different for certain people. Like, you'll get people that are so scared of failing that they won't even try. And then you get people that are so scared of failing that they will try even harder not to fail, man. So it's that split of people. You need to decide what you want to be. Are you so scared of failing that you're not even going to try, or are you so scared of failing that you're going to try harder than anyone else, so that to ensure that you don't fail?
But can I also, do you think that the root of the fear of failure is what other people think about you?
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So
100%.
I think if you lose the fear
I'm not scared of failure.
that, then the fear of failure might also go away a bit. It might also fade a bit.
yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
more. Because we are all self-aware and we're self-conscious of what other people think. That's simple things. Doing exercise, bro. Like if I'm at the gym or something and I want to pick up a weight and I think, yo, this thing look cocky, I must look like a tully if I pick this thing up and I can't.
You look like a tolly anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So why am I being so self-conscious? But you know what I mean, man. You are self-conscious of certain things.
comment.
Yeah.
Like if you are in, like I always admired like dance.
Yeah.
People that are involved in dance. That's you are being judged constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that to do that in front of people, to be in theater, to be involved in that kind of stuff was hectic, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta appreciate people that just put their shit out there.
Oh, look at you, look, baby.
Have you got the comment? Can you read the comment out, man?
Yeah.
What's the comment here?
We got a comment here from Fifth Element. Yeah, a quiet topic, an idea of owning up to your mistakes. Better than pain.
Lekker Jay.
Oh, Jesse. School. Okay, now it's just we got some comment here. Okay, there's a lot of people that's following us that's friends of the podcast. Quite a good topic that we covering over there. Fear of failure, the fear of failure, and people. You were saying it's because of you what you think about other people think about you. I seem to lose my fear of failure a lot of times, like especially with this podcast, like especially putting this content out there, like I lost it sometimes because the more you lose, the more you become. It's like you said with maybe with the comedy, the more you lose, the more you feel comfortable with losing. The more you die on stage, the more you feel comfortable with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a weird sort of a dynamic there. But for me, like what my colleagues think of me in the comedy space is like almost like it's an awkward feeling type of vibe. You know what I mean? It's an awkward. No,
But the point,
you
but the
get
point
it.
is you don't
I get
care
it,
about
but I
it.
get it.
But the point is that you don't care about that though.
I do.
You do. We all do.
I do.
But the problem
I
is,
do care about what they say more than what the crowd say.
yeah, the problem is
Because you want their respect more than what the crowds respect.
because you worried about your peers. You worried about your peers' opinion of you, but you're not realizing that in that same space, that same peer whose validation you are seeking, they want your validation as well. So it's crazy. You trying to impress the same people that are trying to impress you.
That's the tough cycle, man. And it's
crazy.
like that with everything. Like
Not with everything, with jiu-jitsu and stuff. Jiu-jitsu, well, the black belt is choking you out, but he's helping you. So, like,
Yeah.
choking you out.
I seen you did some boxing. Are you still doing boxing?
No, I haven't done it for like 2 months now. Well, basically since I
you
said
got
I
married.
do.
What?
Since I got married, but I'm gonna go back because I definitely helped quite a lot. Yeah.
You're going back to the marriage or going back to the boxing?
Well, I need to take the dop home somehow.
Okay, you need to take the top off. He's in, guys.
Check it, guys. We've been going for like an hour, more than an hour already. I thought we were going for 20 minutes because Nantal flows me there. But we've covered a lot of topics. First of all, we covered some politics there in the beginning, and then we moved on over to high schools, covered some weddings and stags, and then we even went sentimental right at the end.
Guys, can we touch on one more topic?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
So, because the three of you are in comedy, I need to know, well, not need to know, sorry, I just like to know the whole Chappelle saga. I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah.
This was going to come up maybe with me.
Damn.
So, I'm going to just be blunt. I really love Chappelle. And I've been watching all the specials from start to finish. And not only is he a comedian, but for me, it's like he drops this like nuggets of wisdom that I just can't ignore. And he says a lot of things, but I'm always learning from Dave Chappelle. What is your guys' opinion regarding the entire saga taking place?
Can I start?
Sure.
So I saw him accepting something in DC. Yeah, I know the spot because I played actually at the spot in DC. There's some president.
Mark Twain Award.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Mark Twain.
His mother actually raised him to be a storyteller. There's a term that he uses.
A grill.
A grill, yes. And I was like, fuck, now it makes sense. Because his mother took him to the dangasa and said, maybe that's too much pussy jokes for one night. You know what I'm saying? So she groomed him to who he is, man.
Yeah.
And she gave him, she fed him like pro-black stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I listen to his shows, and I give it to my gay bra. My best bra he was my best man. I give it to him, and he can't. Okay, this is my point of view. He can't really pinpoint what is it that's offensive, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, dude, what is offensive? What is I saying? But maybe we coming from a privileged, male privileged point of view that we don't see the nuances that's maybe offensive, man. But I can only speak from my point of view. That's why I'm asking other people's point of view. That's the alphabet people, man.
Living the
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I just don't. But he's a dope comedian, dude.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the most needed one comedian, and then Joe Rogan is next.
Yeah, so my best friend, I was actually the best man at his wedding, who is also gay. I mean, you know Nathan.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is he like one of my best friends, he's also like a brother to me. And I mean, you know, so like I'm not even speaking from a very narrow-minded point of view here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, what is your guys' thoughts?
I think we're all going to say the same thing. Everybody's going to stand with Dave. I think what has happened is like there's a loony left. They're the far left, like.
Yeah.
And they are such a small minority, but they got such loud mouths. And they're causing havoc over unnecessary things.
And it's not only that, they are in such high positions of power.
Exactly.
That gives them a platform
Yeah.
to actually to
Exactly.
actually voice this outrage that a tiny part of the population is actually feeling. So it's okay. It's okay for them to look back at Chappelle's old stuff, like Killing Me Softly, where he's talking about mostly like what would be called black comedy, about being in the projects and stuff like that. It's fine for them to laugh at him ridiculing that lifestyle, and it's fine for them. It's fine for him to make fun about everyone else. They will laugh, but as soon as you get spoken about, then no, sorry, we can't laugh at ourselves. And when the whole thing kicked off, like I started like just checking the hashtag and seeing who it is that is actually posting outrage, and it, like 90% of it is people chasing clout. It's all clout chasers. That's people posting that they aren't a member of the LGBTQ community, but they know that posting up for them, it's going to give them clout in that community, and it's going to give them a following at the end of the day.
Like
So it's
brownie
fake
points.
outrage. Fake outrage is like you're not even a member. You're just claiming to be an ally. Whereas there are members of the LGBTQ community that aren't even feeling any outrage because they can actually take a step back and laugh about it, because they can identify the fact that he's not talking about their community, but he's talking about the white privilege side of it, because he says it in the material himself. He's like, I've never had a problem with the LGBTQ community. My problem has always been with white people. And if you go back and you watch all the specials and you see, it's true every single day. Like you said with the one, why was it easier? Why was it easier for Caitlyn Jenner to change her gender than it was for Muhammad Ali to change his name, and Cassius Clay to change his name, and it all comes down to white privilege at the end of the day, and people don't want to recognize it.
Okay.
Yeah, these people, they're trying to cancel everybody for stupid things now. I see what Neil Young, again, trying to cancel Rogan. Every day somebody's trying to cancel somebody. Why don't you just, you know what? I dislike Mac G, and right now I respect him as a podcaster, but I dislike him because I just don't like his vibe. You know what I mean? I just don't like the way he speaks to women, and just like I was speaking to about earlier. He remind me of old me that used to speak in a disrespectful way to women, and you shouldn't be speaking like that way. But in the same breath, I say I don't like him. He should have his platform. He must be able to speak. They mustn't censor him. They can't censor him. They shouldn't censor him. Because if they censor him, they're going to censor me. They're going to censor you. They're going to censor everybody. So even though I don't like Mac G, that doesn't mean they mustn't censor him. He must have his show.
Yeah.
And if his show is successful, all good to him. And you know what? Maybe I've spoken to Bevan about this, but maybe sometimes when I see other podcasters and their numbers astronomical, it's maybe because I've been doing this for longer than them and they're more popular than me, and now I got the pain. You know what I mean? I get the pain. I get like yo, look at this guy. So just because I'm not constant and I wasn't in radio, there's a lot of other reasons, but the fact of the matter is that everybody should have their own voice.
Yeah.
Everyone must have a podcast. Liam must have a podcast. Bevan or not the podcast, or must have a way of having his own voice. Nobody must get banned from Instagram. You must have a voice on Instagram. But yet these corporations or the loony left. So what Liam was alluding to earlier is that these loony left people are in positions of high power. So hypothetically speaking, if they are in positions of high power in Twitter, right? If the left is in high power in Twitter, obviously they're gonna cancel what's going on, everything, right? And they're gonna be opposed to it. They're gonna push the left side. They're gonna drive this thought. They're gonna encourage people to think more that way. It shouldn't be like that. It should be open source and stuff like that. But anyway,
at the moment it's like there's only freedom of speech if you and I are saying the same thing. Like we can't have opposing views.
Yeah.
We got, like my view is right. It's freedom of speech. I get to say what I say, but I don't agree with you, so you can't say what you want to say. That's not how freedom of speech works.
yes,
Absolutely.
People are allowed to have an opinion. You are allowed to disagree with the opinion, and like they it's almost like they want to, as soon as your opinion clashes with theirs, like as soon as there's a clash of opinion, then they want to take your freedom of speech and they want to
Cancel
liken
you.
it to hate speech.
Yeah, cancel you.
And there's a difference.
Shadow ban you.
There's a difference between hate speech and freedom of speech, man.
Absolutely.
You are allowed to have an opinion, and just because you don't agree with that opinion, it doesn't make it hate speech.
Exactly.
People there must be a platform for things to be spoken about.
Yeah, and here's a case in point, like the lab leak, the COVID virus. If you had to put on Facebook a year ago that COVID virus was a lab leak, you would get banned for 30 days. Or if you had any material attached to that, you get banned for 30
You
days.
mean banned from social media?
From Facebook. A year ago.
Yo.
A year ago. When was it?
No,
It
was quite
18
strict.
months
It
ago.
was quite strict.
It was strict. If you had to say COVID was a lab leak, you'd get banned. Right now, it's proven that it was a lab leak. So that's in actual fact. It was a fact back then, but you would get banned for a fact. So what is not going to stop this going on forward and forward? You can state facts and they can just ban you and say, no, that doesn't...
It doesn't go with our facts.
Exactly.
I don't believe
The
that.
President of America, no?
Cancel.
The President of America said, if you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask anymore because you're not going to need it. You won't be able to give the virus or whatever. That was misinformation. He got information and he said it as a president. And then afterwards they discovered, no, that's not the truth. So you actually had to cancel him because that was misinformation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
to
you
cancel
need to
the
allow
president.
people to say something and then make a mistake and redeem himself.
Did they give Trump his Twitter account back?
No, he's still banned.
He's
Still
starting his own Twitter.
But that should be the way of the future, bro.
That man tweeted about nuclear warfare.
Yeah, but Chica,
Like it was a joke.
we started this whole conversation earlier about talking about the metaverse. The metaverse is on our phones. You see it now. Metaverse is on Instagram. Metaverse is on Facebook. Metaverse is on wherever else. WhatsApp. This is where we're leading to. They're trying to censor what people are saying, and podcasts is the last frontier to say that. The only thing is, I need to get this file out to my people. I don't know how. We're gonna sell NFTs of my voice. I'm gonna encode my voice like you know. Did you see what Keanu Reeves did with his whole persona for Matrix?
Yeah.
Didn't you see this?
No, I didn't watch
He put himself, like they made like a digital version of him for the Matrix, right? So for the rest of his eternity, they can use this digital version of Keanu Reeves, and it looks exactly like Keanu Reeves in the movie, like 100%. Because I don't know how they rendered him. Obviously, it's quite expensive to render him digitally. So now that is a digital file of Keanu Reeves, and they can sell it and stuff like that. So in 10 years' time, you can sell it. You can license it off, and his kids can things like that. So maybe I must do that with my voice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Make an NFT of it.
Even makes
I
the
think
money, my
Bevan
guy.
must do that with his Chef Bev.
Yeah, with my-
NFT, the food.
Not of his tolly.
With my diet.
With his dick
With-
pics.
With my... nah, my dick pics also, they sold out already.
OnlyFans, you got the OnlyFans account.
Liam, I forgot to ask you. I don't see you posting that many pics anymore of your sneaker collection. Are you still quite big in the sneaker world?
Yes, my bro.
I
I've got a
remember
couple
back in the
pairs.
day, like on Instagram, Liam and sneakers is just.
But I don't leave the house. What must I do? Must I wear it in the house? I've got a couple of pairs that's still waiting to be debuted, but I don't, like I say, I don't leave the house. So it's like there's about 4 or 5 pairs that are still in boxes, haven't been worn yet.
For real?
Haven't seen
Have
the
you got
light
to
of
pay on
day.
today? What pay you got on today? There's nothing
Yeah,
special.
lift it up there, bro.
Nothing special. Ow!
Oh, okay.
Got a liquor,
The tickets are back to front.
a light.
Nah, that's Travis
That's
Scott.
Travis Scott edition, yeah.
Travis Scott Jordan 1.
But he's back to front.
I ain't in the room.
So you also into buying and selling again?
No, I'm not into selling.
Okay.
I buy sneakers to wear sneakers.
Okay.
Like that means like resellers have ruined the sneaker market completely. Because there's a lot of men that is out there that they grab everything. They grab everything that is released, so that they cause the scarcity in the market, and then they resell it to people that actually want it, but they pump up the prices to like 150% plus on retail.
Oh, lekker
It's a
jazz.
resale.
Nee, that's problem with my sloffies.
So they like the people that claim to be sneakerheads aren't really sneakerheads. They resellers. There's no such thing as a
It's
sneaker
a market
culture
for
anymore.
everything, brother. There's a market for everything. You can sell poop in a jar also. The men's is doing all this kak and they're making money, brother. It's mad. It is so mad.
Other people are making money, but
I'm gonna sell my sweat next week, brother. Let me know if you want a job.
coming our way.
20 mil sweat from me.
Anyway, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up. We're going for like an hour and a half already, and we quite lit here, and we had a good one. Normally, I only
it was
run
dope.
for an hour. It was
Guys,
liquor.
I would love to do this again.
Yes.
I'm saying we do this once a month, but we can chat afterwards. Maybe quarterly, every 3 months. Or
No,
something
that's
like
too long.
It's too long.
That's too long.
I do my taxes like that.
Yeah, people have opinions here that need to get out.
that. Yeah, man. So we got the opinions, and then maybe next time we can work on our topics a bit here and stuff like that. But thanks for joining me, guys. Man, this has been liquor.
Thanks for
Cheers
having
also
us.
to Ryan.
Yo, what a life.
Joey Joe. That guy.
Yo, I spoke too much today, but anyway.
Nah, the alcohol made him loose.
Liquor. Gonna go home to the wife now.
She
Let's
was.
get it on.
Just like you saw I in my she was also saying, hey, you look lekker tonight. No? I was like, yes, babes. That's the only person I want to impress. But anyway, let's wrap up. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Bevan, for joining me. Nice to see you. Please join me again. I love what you're doing with everybody else, and you must keep the flow going. Liam, it's good to hear that you're back on the comedy scene.
Man, no, not back. Just
That you're on the
short
comedy
face.
scene.
Yeah, just pop my head up for a bit.
And and you're gonna come be recording more content here on your
Oh, yeah.
own, or
Nah, I'm
Bevan,
happy- I'm
or
happy to
me,
be here.
or however.
Happy to be here with the Owens.
And Gino,
All good, brother.
nice man.
If the two of them and you are in something, I'm here. When this man messaged me, it's like Liam and Bevan and me. I'm like, you don't have to ask. I'm there.
Once a month, the end of the month is a liquor time. But anyway, we'll check how it goes, man. Thank you everybody, and then maybe we can do a live show one day. That's my dream, like rent out the Baxter or something like that. Having a live podcast, like
A grander concept, the content cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it just came to me. It's a liquor one. Anyway, thanks guys. Thank you for joining me, man. It's been liquor. I've never ever had an hour and a half podcast before. Only ran for an hour. Anyway, thank you.
Short, brother.
Safe.
Sure, brother. Cheers.
Like, share, and whatever.
Subscribe.
There we go. Safe, guys.
Are we-
This is the